good afternoon, everybody. As Connie has mentioned, my name is Gail Fitzgerald, and I'm the manager in Ballinabranna Water Scheme in County Carlow. And today I'll be speaking to you about network management. I've been working on the scheme for the last 7 years, and I was the first employee in the scheme. Historically, the scheme was run on a voluntary basis, which no longer became sustainable as time went on. Leaks cost money, and so introducing ways to reduce these is key to managing cash flow. And having someone to manage all these elements related to the scheme allowed processes to be put in place. And some of these I'll go into further detail now in the next few minutes. So our network consists of 30 kilometres of mains pipework and a list of other elements above. And we are also a DBO group water scheme. Of our 465 connections, it's important to note that 424 of these are domestic connections. So it's quite a large scheme with a non-heavy domestic connection. So leak management in that area, the majority of our mains pipework was replaced in the last 15 years. Leak identification comes from shareholder notification or from the water scheme committee members. We encourage people to let us know if they see a leak, and then our office is in place since I've been working on the scheme, and it helps to get people to know you and feel that they can come and talk to you if they need to. And our committee members are also located across the scheme, which is great to have eyes on the ground. We have a contractor available to repair leaks, and they log our road opening licenses on our behalf. We share our password with them, our login details, and we handhold the process and arrange payments, etc. And the system then acts as a form of record keeping and highlights mains that may need to be replaced due to higher level of leakage. And normally urgent leaks are replaced within the day, and therefore minimizing water loss. Our scheme is divided into DMAs with 16 bulk meters. We have online telemetry, which gives us reports on daily usage to each bulk meter, so we know what normal usage is. We also receive total daily flows, so again we know what normal total usage is, and this can be compared against the daily usages provided by our DBO contractor. We also receive daily night flows and reports, and this also helps us to identify leaks to see if there's a change in overnight usage. We keep all this data tracked on a daily basis and recorded on a spreadsheet so we have a picture of historical usage over time. The bulk meter telemetry also notifies us by email and text if there is an above set level usage to our various bulk meters. For example, when there's flushing taking place on the scheme, we will be receiving alerts. If there's a leak on either on the mains or on a meter, we know where exactly this is occurring and can look to find the individual location. So for example, at one point we received alerts for one of the bulk meters. A visual drive-by showed a collection of water gathered in a grassy area near one of the fire hydrants, and it transpired that a heavy vehicle had actually driven over the fire hydrant and had damaged the connection, thus causing the leak. We are a fully metered scheme with 465 meters. 385 of the meters have AMR technology, which is automatic meter reading technology. This means that each meter has a radio attached to it. This then reduces the amount of manual input and means we can quickly read our meters in a couple of hours by driving around the scheme. 85 of our meters are located in close proximity to each other in an estate, which also has 2 bulk meters, and these meters can be read in just over 1 hour, so it doesn't make economic sense to install AMR technology in this instance. We read our meters twice a year for billing purposes, but we also read the meters on a quarterly basis. 6 months is too long between meter reads, and each time we do a meter reading, we find at least one big leak. So if you have usage for each quarter, you can easily see when there is a change in usage and a potential leak exists. Regular meter reading ensures that we pick up leaks early and can advise people that they have a leak, and then again this reduces water wastage and avoids hefty bills for our members. If a leak is large enough, particularly a mains leak, we will capture this through our bulk meter alerts. As an example, one weekend we received a consistent alerts from one of our bulk meters, and all the meters attached to the DMA were then read to try and identify where the leak was. By comparing one month's usage to the usage since the last month end, we were able to quickly see a jump in usage. The individual household was then identified, and in this instance, we just had a period of heavy frost. It transpired that an outside tap had sprung a leak, and we were able to advise the shareholder that they had a leak so that the leak could be repaired. Once we identified that there is a leak on an individual meter, we visually checked the meter to see where the issue is, and if the leak is on the shareholder side, we advise them so that they can work to try and identify it and have it repaired. And myself and the caretaker will work with the shareholder to try and resolve the leak. And in general, people are very happy to work with us. In 2020, we completed GPS mapping of our network. All of our services are marked on the map, and we have the mapping linked to our accounting system. We can also see digitally the location then of mains and meters, etc. This also future-proofs our scheme network, as while I and a number of others know where the meters, etc. are located, at least if they are GPS mapped, they will be documented for the future. Chlorine residual checks are completed on a weekly basis across 28 designated points across the scheme, encompassing all of the endpoints. These endpoints are also scoured and pressures monitored as part of our weekly checks. And here is an example of our weekly checklist that is used to collect all the data. A system flush is completed on an at least annual basis, and the chlorine residual checks will also indicate if more regular flushing is required. A water audit is completed on a 6-monthly basis when we read our meters for billing purposes. We are able to compare our total water usage to the total flows as provided by our DBO contractor in order to calculate our unaccounted for water. And just as you can see here, in 2017, our UFW was 27%, and this is now down to 13%. This is down to actively managing leaks. We've had no replacement of mains pipework in this period, and the only investment has been in the installation of AMR technology and upgrading our bulk meter telemetry. And prior to my working on the scheme, meters were purely read for billing purposes, but now it forms part of active leak detection and management. Our scheme have been completing raw water monitoring since 2015, and we test both raw and treated water as well as a sample few households. Over the years, we're testing for more and more parameters to stay in line with EU drinking water regulations, and we hope to complete an ISPP programme in conjunction with the Federation over the next few years. And we've put in place additional parameter testing as required as part of this. And completion of such a programme is key for us in ensuring that we are protecting our water source for the future. In 2023, to support from the Federation and funding from the Department, we installed a water refill station on our scheme network alongside the River Barrow. The location is perfect as it's beside a cafe which is set up near the river, and it also has plenty of passers-by who gain access to the river for walks, cycling, etc. So it's great to be able to promote the use of reusable drinking water bottles and help reduce single-use plastic, dusting our bit for the environment. We also installed a water meter to see how much water was being used, how much the water refill station is being utilised as well, and we can also see through the clicks on the refill station itself just to see all the usage. It's all very positive. When we were planning to launch the water refill station, we decided it would be a good idea to engage the local school, and we, as well as providing the children and staff with reusable water bottles as part of the project, we organised a competition in the school on the topic of the importance of water in our daily lives. Imagine a day without water. It is key that our future adults know and understand where their water comes from, that it costs money, and that it needs to be conserved. The competition got the children to think about how they use water on a daily basis. And we presented the winners with their prizes at the official launch of the water refill station, where they also got to test out their water bottles. And the Federation's All About Water programme was also given to the 5th and 6th class school children earlier this year. So in summary, every litre of treated water that leaves our treatment plant has cost money to extract from the ground, to treat at the treatment plant and pump to the reservoir. Excessive water demand puts pressure on our source, and wasted water causes unnecessary expenditure. So it's key that we always look to conserve our water where possible and reduce daily flows by actively managing our network. Thank you.